First contact gone wrong. The quantum anomaly appeared without warning. On a quiet Tuesday morning in 2157, every quantum sensor at the Mauna Kea Observatory suddenly lit up like a Christmas tree. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readings in disbelief, her coffee forgotten and growing cold beside her terminal. "This can't be right," she muttered, fingers flying across the holographic interface. The quantum field distortions were unlike anything humanity had ever recorded. They seemed to pulse with an almost organic rhythm, defying every known law of quantum mechanics. The anomaly grew larger. 12 minutes later, the first Zarketh ship emerged from what they would later learn was a quantum-slit space corridor. It was massive. 3 kilometers of gleaming dark metal that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The ship hung motionless above Earth's atmosphere, its presence sending the world's military forces into high alert. Sarah wasn't surprised when the call came. As Earth's leading expert in quantum field theory, she was quickly whisked away to a secure facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. The Global Defense Council had assembled there, faces grave as they watched the alien vessel on their monitors. "Dr. Chen," General Marcus Hayes addressed her, his weathered face etched with concern. "What are we dealing with?" Before Sarah could answer, the alien ship broadcast its first message. The translation matrix took only moments to decode their language, suspiciously quick, Sarah would later realize. The message was simple. "We are the Zarketh. We come in peace." It was humanity's first lie from the stars. The diplomatic meeting was set for neutral ground, the International Space Station. Sarah was chosen as part of the welcome delegation, her expertise in quantum physics deemed crucial for any technical discussions. As she watched the Zarketh shuttle dock with the station, she couldn't shake a deep sense of unease. The aliens emerged from their vessel with an elegant grace that belied their imposing appearance. Tall and slender, their iridescent scales shimmered under the station's lights. Their ambassador, who called himself First Speaker Vexfor, fixed Sarah with all 4 of his eyes. "Your species is unique," he said, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into smooth English. "We have never encountered beings with your particular quantum resonance." Sarah's unease grew. She hadn't published her latest research. The discovery that human consciousness itself seemed to have a subtle but measurable effect on quantum fields. How did they know? The meeting proceeded smoothly, too smoothly. The Zarketh offered technology, knowledge, and partnership. But Sarah noticed how their eyes kept returning to the quantum field sensors she had brought. How they asked just a few too many questions about human biology. It wasn't until she returned to her lab that night that she understood why. Running new scans on the data from the alien ship, she discovered something horrifying. The Zarketh vessel wasn't just using quantum fields for propulsion. It was harvesting them. And the strongest quantum fields they'd encountered came from human minds. Sarah's hand shook as she compiled her findings. The Zarketh weren't here for diplomatic relations. They were here to farm humanity for our quantum potential. She was halfway through encrypting her report when the first attacks began. The Zarketh ships appeared simultaneously over every major city on Earth. Their weapons weren't designed to destroy infrastructure. They were designed to capture. Quantum containment fields swept through streets and buildings, freezing people in stasis while leaving structures intact. In her underground lab, Sarah watched the horror unfold on her screens. But she also saw something the Zarketh had missed. In their arrogance, they had revealed their technology's greatest weakness. Their quantum harvesting fields had a specific frequency, a frequency that human minds could theoretically disrupt. As alarms blared and security doors slammed shut around her, Sarah began to work. She had hours at most before the Zarketh found her facility. But she had a theory. If human consciousness could affect quantum fields, then perhaps. She opened a secure channel to what remained of the Global Defense Council. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen," she transmitted. "I know how we can fight back. But I need every quantum physicist you can find. And I need them now." The war for humanity's quantum potential had begun. and Sarah Chen was about to become the architect of humanity's resistance. As she gathered her team through encrypted channels, Sarah couldn't help but smile grimly. The Zarketh had come expecting to find cattle. Instead, they had found warriors, and she was about to show them exactly what human quantum potential could really do. The making of Commander Sarah Chen. 3 months after the initial invasion, Cheyenne Mountain had transformed from a military command center into humanity's last hope for survival. Deep within its reinforced walls, Sarah Chen stood before a massive holographic display, watching red dots multiply across the globe. Each one represented a Zarketh harvesting facility. "They're not just taking people anymore," she explained to the assembled military leadership. "They're building something. Networks of quantum amplification towers." But they're making a crucial mistake. The room had changed since that first meeting. Gone were the polished uniforms and formal protocols. Now, everyone wore practical combat gear, even Sarah. A pulse pistol hung at her hip, a necessity in these times when Zarketh hunter-seekers could breach even the most secure facilities. "Show them," General Hayes commanded, his once pristine uniform now bearing scorch marks from a recent skirmish. Sarah nodded and brought up her latest data. Every human mind generates a unique quantum signature. The Zarketh can harvest these signatures, but they can't replicate them. More importantly, when humans work together, our quantum signatures synchronize. And when they synchronize, she pressed a button, and a video played on the main screen. It showed a small team of humans, all wearing prototype quantum amplification helmets of Sarah's design. As they focused together, a visible wave of energy pulsed from them. The Zarketh containment field they were targeting flickered and collapsed. "We can fight back," Sarah concluded, "but we need more than just technology. We need training, discipline, a new kind of military force that combines quantum physics with tactical warfare." General Hayes studied her for a long moment. "Congratulations, Dr. Chen. You've just been promoted to commander." The next 6 months were a blur of training and development. Sarah worked with a hand-picked team of scientists and soldiers, teaching them to harness their quantum potential while learning military strategy herself. Every failure cost lives, but every success brought them closer to a real defense against the Zarketh. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. During a routine training session, a young soldier named James Martinez showed an unusually strong ability to disrupt Zarketh fields. Sarah's scans revealed why. His quantum signature was remarkably stable, almost crystalline in its structure. "It's not just about power," she realized, studying the data late one night. "It's about harmony, resonance. The Zarketh use brute force to harvest quantum energy, but we can learn to shape it, direct it, make it dance to our tune." The quantum defense program was born from this insight. Sarah developed a training regimen that taught soldiers to stabilize their quantum signatures and work in perfect synchronization. Teams of 6 became the standard unit, each member's quantum field reinforcing the others. But the Zarketh weren't idle. Their harvesting operations intensified, and their hunter-seekers grew more sophisticated. Sarah lost count of the nights she spent redesigning defenses, improving shields, pushing the boundaries of what humans could achieve with quantum manipulation. "They're adapting to our countermeasures," she reported during one tense meeting. "But so are we. Each encounter teaches us more about their technology and our own capabilities." The turning point came during a raid on a Zarketh research facility. Sarah led the mission herself, guiding her team through quantum-shielded corridors. In the facility's core, they discovered something that changed everything. Detailed scans of human quantum signatures, along with plans for massive integration engines. "They're not just harvesting us," Sarah realized with horror. "They're trying to merge our quantum potential with their technology, create some kind of hybrid system that would give them unprecedented power." But the discovery had an unexpected benefit. The Zarketh data included detailed analyses of human quantum potential, analyses that revealed capabilities even Sarah hadn't imagined. Armed with this new understanding, she began to design something revolutionary: the quantum fleet. As the first prototype ships took shape in hidden facilities around the world, Sarah allowed herself to feel a glimmer of hope. The Zarketh had come to Earth expecting to find simple quantum batteries to harvest. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous: humanity's full potential. In her private quarters, Sarah studied the latest fleet designs. The ships incorporated everything they'd learned about quantum manipulation, enhanced by humanity's unique ability to synchronize and amplify quantum fields. They weren't just weapons. They were a symphony of human consciousness and advanced technology. "Begin final production," she ordered, "and send word to all resistance cells. Operation Firewall begins in 30 days. As she watched the message go out through quantum-encrypted channels, Sarah touched the burned scar on her shoulder, a reminder of her first encounter with Zarketh technology. They had thought humans were cattle to be harvested. She was about to show them just how wrong they were. Operation Firewall. Dawn broke over the Rocky Mountains as humanity prepared for its first coordinated strike against the Zarketh. In the command center, Sarah Chen watched as quantum signatures from around the globe aligned in perfect synchronization. 15,000 trained quantum operators, working in harmony for the first time. "All teams report ready," James Martinez announced from his station. The former soldier had become her second in command, his natural quantum stability making him the perfect coordinator for their global operations. "Show me the target," Sarah commanded. The holographic display shifted to show their primary objective: the largest Zarketh harvesting facility in North America, built on the ruins of Chicago. Its quantum amplification towers pulsed with stolen human energy, feeding power to the massive ships hovering above. "We have confirmed activity in all 12 harvesting centers," an analyst reported. "They're beginning their daily collection cycle." Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. Perfect timing. Initiate Operation Firewall. Across the globe, quantum defense teams activated their synchronized fields. The effect was immediate and devastating. The careful quantum harmonics that the Zarketh relied upon began to shift and destabilize. Their harvesting beams, designed to capture and contain human quantum signatures, suddenly found themselves trying to process thousands of perfectly synchronized defensive patterns. The first tower exploded in a cascade of quantum feedback. Then another, and another. "Multiple Zarketh vessels descending," Martins reported. "They're deploying hunter-seekers." "Spring the trap," Sarah ordered. Hidden quantum emitters activated around each facility, creating a complex web of intersecting fields. The hunter-seekers, designed to track and neutralize individual human quantum signatures, found themselves lost in a maze of false signals and corrupted data. But the Zarketh weren't finished. From their capital ships came a new weapon: massive quantum disruptors designed to break any human resistance. The air itself seemed to crystallize as they fired, reality warping under the strain. "All teams, execute Pattern Omega," Sarah commanded. The human operators shifted their quantum harmonics, their signatures becoming fluid and adaptable where the Zarketh expected rigid resistance. The disruptor beams passed through their defenses like light through water, dissipating harmlessly. "It's working," Martins breathed. "The harvesting facilities are going critical." Sarah watched as the Chicago facility began to collapse, its stolen quantum energy releasing in a spectacular display of light and power. Similar reports came in from around the globe: Beijing, London, Cairo, Sydney. For the first time since the invasion, the Zarketh were losing ground. But in their desperation, the aliens revealed something unexpected. As their facilities collapsed, the Zarketh ships began to emit a new kind of quantum signature, one that seemed eerily familiar. "Analysis complete," her quantum physics team reported. "They're using modified human quantum patterns, signatures from their first harvests, weaponized and twisted." Sarah felt sick. The Zarketh hadn't just been storing the energy they stole. They had been studying it, learning to replicate and corrupt it. The implications were staggering. New contact, Martinez shouted. Massive quantum surge from orbit. The holographic display showed a new vessel emerging from quantum slip space. It dwarfed the other Zarketh ships, its hull crackling with corrupted human quantum energy. At its heart, Sarah could detect thousands of quantum signatures, human consciousness, trapped and perverted into living weapons. First Speaker Vexthor sends his regards, Commander Chen. The voice transmitted on all frequencies. The translator rendered it in perfect English, but there was something wrong about it, something that spoke of human minds twisted to alien purposes. They've integrated human consciousness into their ship systems, Sarah realized. That's what all this has been about. They're not just harvesting our energy. They're trying to create hybrid quantum processors using human minds as templates. The massive ship began to power up its main weapon. The quantum readings were off the scale, a perfect fusion of Zarketh technology and corrupted human potential. All teams fall back to secondary positions, Sarah ordered. Initiate emergency protocols. But as her forces retreated, she was already formulating a new plan. The Zarketh had shown their true capabilities, yes, but they had also revealed their greatest weakness. They understood how to harvest and corrupt human quantum signatures, but they still didn't understand the true source of humanity's power. In her mind, a new operation began to take shape, one that would require every surviving human to work together in ways the Zarketh couldn't possibly predict, one that would turn their own hybrid technology against them. Get me a secure channel to all resistance cells, she commanded. Operation Firewall was just the beginning. Now we show them what humanity can really do when we fight as one. As the orders went out, Sarah looked at the tactical display one last time. The Zarketh thought they had won this round, but they had just given humanity exactly what it needed, a way to strike at their heart. The real war was about to begin. The counter-strike. The captured Zarketh scout ship hung in Earth's orbit, its quantum drives modified with human ingenuity. Sarah Chen stood on its bridge, now retrofitted with human interfaces, studying the star charts they'd extracted from its database. Each point of light represented another world under Zarketh control. The deeper we dig into their files, the worse it gets, Martinez reported, scrolling through decoded alien data streams. We're not their first targets, just their latest. The holographic display showed dozens of conquered species, each with their own unique quantum signatures. Some had been completely harvested, their entire civilizations processed into quantum energy. Others were being slowly drained, turned into living batteries for the Zarketh Empire. Analysis of their quantum network is complete, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, their lead quantum physicist, announced. The Zarketh don't just share resources, they share consciousness. Every ship, every facility, they're all connected through quantum entanglement. Sarah's eyes narrowed. That's why they're so coordinated. But it's also their weakness. Show me the Arcturus system. The display zoomed in on a star cluster where unusual quantum fluctuations had been detected. Here, the Zarketh were building something massive. A quantum integration hub that would link all their harvested consciousness into one unified network. If we can disrupt that hub, Sarah explained, we can throw their entire empire into chaos. But we'll need help. She turned to her assembled team. Prepare for quantum jump. We're going to liberate some allies. The jump through quantum slip space was smoother than expected. Human quantum signatures proved more stable than Zarketh technology. They emerged in the Proxima Centauri system, where the Zarketh maintained one of their oldest harvesting operations. What they found shocked even Sarah's hardened team. The native Centaurians, crystalline beings who naturally manipulated quantum fields, had been reduced to living power sources. Their once beautiful crystal cities now served as quantum amplification nodes for the Zarketh network. Their quantum signature, Tanaka whispered, studying the readings. It's compatible with ours. Different frequency, but similar harmonic patterns. Sarah watched a group of Centaurians being marched into a harvesting facility. Can we communicate with them? Martinez adjusted their quantum field generators. broadcasting now on their native frequency. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Thousands of Centaurian minds reached out through the quantum field, their thoughts carrying centuries of pain and suppressed rage. But beneath that, something else. Hope. They've been waiting, Sarah realized. All these years, maintaining just enough of their consciousness to resist complete integration, waiting for someone who could help them fight back. The rescue operation that followed was unlike anything in human military history. Using their modified ship's quantum fields, Sarah's team created a cascade failure in the Zarketh control systems. As the alien overseers struggled to maintain control, the Centaurians seized their chance. Crystal spires shattered as quantum energy was suddenly released. Zarketh hunters fell as their quantum control networks were overloaded by synchronized Centaurian and human quantum signatures. In the chaos, Sarah's team moved through the city, gathering survivors and destroying harvesting equipment. But the real prize came from the Centaurian elders, ancient beings who had preserved their knowledge through centuries of enslavement. They shared memories of other resistant species, other worlds where the spark of defiance still lived. The Zarketh built their empire on stolen power. The eldest communicated through the quantum field. But they never understood the true nature of consciousness. It cannot be simply harvested and controlled. It must be freely given, freely shared. As they prepared to evacuate the liberated Centaurians, Sarah received an urgent transmission from Earth. The Zarketh had launched a massive counterattack, throwing everything they had at humanity's quantum defenses. But now, humanity wouldn't fight alone. All ships, prepare for quantum jump, Sarah ordered. The fleet they assembled was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Human ingenuity combined with Centaurian quantum mastery, powered by the burning desire for freedom. As they emerged from slipped space near Earth, Sarah felt the combined consciousness of humans and Centaurians working in perfect harmony. The Zarketh harvester ships, designed to process individual species, found themselves facing the unified force they couldn't comprehend. They thought consciousness was just another resource to be taken. Sarah transmitted to all ships. Time to show them what happens when it's freely shared. The battle that followed would be remembered in legends across 1,000 worlds. But for Sarah, the most important victory wasn't military. As she watched human and Centaurian quantum signatures synchronize and strengthen each other, she realized they had discovered something the Zarketh never could: the true power of unity freely chosen. Begin final preparations, she ordered as the last Zarketh ships retreated. We're taking the fight to their doorstep. The quantum directive isn't just about survival anymore. It's about liberation. Across the quantum network, she felt the agreement of countless minds, human and alien alike. The counterstrike had succeeded beyond their wildest hopes. But the real war, the war for the freedom of consciousness itself, was just beginning. Quantum Ascendance. The combined fleet of human and alien ships emerged from quantum slipped space at the edge of the Zarketh home system. Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the flagship Terra Nova, watching as thousands of quantum signatures pulsed in perfect harmony. Humans, Centaurians, and a dozen other liberated species, their consciousness freely joined in common cause. Multiple Zarketh signatures detected, Martins reported. They're mobilizing their entire defense fleet. Through the quantum network, Sarah could feel the fear radiating from the Zarketh capital world. Not fear of defeat. They had never known defeat. This was fear of something they couldn't understand. The power of unified, freely given consciousness. They're activating the integration hub, Dr. Tanaka warned. The massive structure they detected earlier thrummed with stolen quantum energy, billions of harvested minds forced into twisted harmony. All ships, execute pattern symphony, Sarah commanded. The Allied fleet split into synchronized groups, each amplifying the other's quantum fields. They had trained for months for this moment, perfecting the delicate dance of merged consciousness. The Zarketh struck first. Their capital ships fired quantum disruptors designed to shatter consciousness itself. But where once they had faced isolated minds, now they encountered something new. A quantum chorus of freely united wills. They still don't understand, Sarah transmitted to the fleet. They think consciousness is just energy to be harvested. Show them what real unity looks like. The battle unfolded like a cosmic dance. Zarketh weapons, designed to break and dominate, found themselves overwhelmed by the subtle harmonies of cooperative quantum fields. Ships piloted by enslaved minds began to falter as their quantum networks experienced something alien to their controllers. Choice. We're detecting fluctuations in their integration hub, Tanaka reported. The harvested minds, they're responding to our quantum signature. Sarah smiled. This was what they had hoped for, what all their research and preparation had led to. Initiate the quantum directive. Across the fleet, quantum generators powered up to full capacity. But they weren't weapons. They were keys. Keys designed to unlock the prison of the integration hub. The directive was elegantly simple, a quantum resonance pattern that showed enslaved minds the possibility of freedom. Not forcing, not controlling, but offering choice. It spread through the Zarketh network like a revelation. First speaker Vexthor's voice boomed across all frequencies. What are you doing? Stop this. You cannot comprehend the power you're disrupting. We comprehend better than you ever did, Sarah responded. Consciousness isn't power to be taken. It's freedom to be shared. The integration hub began to pulse with new patterns as billions of imprisoned minds awakened to choice. Quantum energy cascaded through the Zarketh network, not in the rigid patterns they had imposed, but in the chaotic beauty of free will. Their ships, they're powering down, Martinez exclaimed. Across the battlefield, Zarketh vessels went dark as their enslaved quantum cores chose freedom. But the Zarketh had one final weapon. From the surface of their capital world rose a massive vessel, its quantum signature a twisted mockery of all the species they had harvested. First speaker Vexthor himself commanded it. His consciousness spread through its systems like a virus. If we cannot have this power, none shall. His ship's quantum core began to overload, threatening to create a cascade that would destroy consciousness itself across the sector. Sarah had anticipated this too. All ships execute final symphony. Every vessel in the Allied fleet synchronized their quantum fields, not in battle formation, but in an offering. They showed Vexthor's ship something the Zarketh had never imagined. The beauty of minds freely working together, supporting rather than dominating. The effect rippled through the overloading quantum core. Enslaved minds, touched by freedom, began to choose. One by one, they withdrew their energy from Vexthor's control. Impossible. The first speaker's final transmission cut off as his ship's systems shut down, its quantum core choosing silence over slavery. In the silence that followed, Sarah felt the quantum network pulse with something new. Joy. Billions of minds awakening to freedom, reaching out to touch others of their kind. The integration hub, designed as a prison, transformed into a beacon of liberation. The Zarketh leadership is surrendering, Martinez reported, almost disbelieving. Their entire empire, it's just stopping. Sarah looked out at the battlefield, now quiet except for the gentle pulse of quantum fields freely synchronizing. Not stopping, she corrected, beginning. In the days that followed, as freed species reclaimed their worlds, and the Zarketh faced the consequences of their actions, Sarah found herself working on something new. The quantum network, once a tool of oppression, could become something greater, a bridge between conscious minds who chose to connect. The real question, she told the First Council of Liberated Species, isn't what we'll do with our freedom. It's what we'll choose to build together. And across the galaxy, billions of minds freely answered, everything.